And welcome to another supplemental episode of iHeart Geek. You're supposed to yell at this part. You're so yay.
Oh.
Okay, there. Wow, I love new people because they do this stuff for me. It makes me so happy. We are sitting here today with my friend Pixie. So we've known each other for about 2 years now. About 2 years. We talk geek stuff. We talk Harry Potter. We talk all sorts of fun stuff.
Marvel versus DC.
And you know who always wins because Marvel sucks. I'm just kidding. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
I mean...
Don't get mad at me. It's all good. But we are actually going to be sitting and talking about the 1986 movie-ish.
I think it is.
The movie called Flight of the Navigator. Now, for me, this was a huge part of my growing up. I was 10 years old when this movie came out. Huge mark on me. I've probably seen it more than 100 times. Now, I thought it'd be interesting to bring Pixie on today because she had never seen it.
Never.
Which is really interesting. So what was your, without the nostalgia factor, because I love it because of the nostalgia, what was your thoughts on it?
So I've seen movies with nostalgia factor where I'm so excited to see them again, and they're so old school, and you watch the new modern technology, and then you come back and you watch it again, and you're like, it's missing so much. But watching it for the first time, despite the fact that it was, 60s? 70s?
86.
80s?
You were making me feel so old. Okay.
No, I kid. But despite the fact that it was set... the
Nothing.
years in the movie were a lot older.
It started older.
It started
78.
off... Yeah, it started off in 78 in the movie. And I'm like, what? And then just everything after that, it works so well with the movie. And for major parts of the movie, I felt like I was at a Disneyland adventure of some kind. Like I was in one of their rides during this part or this part or this part. And I loved it.
Well, when you're sitting in the Navigator seat, it feels like you're at California Adventure.
The California Screamin', that's
Adventure,
the one.
whatever. Yeah, it's so real, and I feel like they took that footage off of it.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
I think they did, except for the underwater part. They didn't.
No, because you go underwater in that California Adventure too.
You do? I don't
Yes,
remember you do.
I remember you go underwater. You go to the orange field and
that's
spray the
right.
stuff at you.
That's right.
But
that's right.
So, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie, it's like 30 years old. Watch it. It's on Disney Plus. That's why we're doing this.
Yes.
Oh, what do you know? So the basic premise of the movie is a kid gets basically taken. And within the first 20 minutes, this feels like a horror movie. It's got the spooky music, everything in that minor key, and it's just scary. Did you feel, I watched when I was a kid.
When I was watching it, I was almost more terrified for the kid because it's funny because they do a lot of things that I've been trained to do when you have somebody that doesn't know what's going on. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they're doing what they should be doing. But everybody is like looking at this kid in awe and shock and terror. And this kid's just like, I just want my mom and dad. I just want to go home. Where am I? What's going on? Where are my parents? And the whole time I'm sitting here like, where are his parents? So I was really more concerned for the child because I'm just like, he needs help.
Yeah.
And
then you find out that he had been gone for 8 years, which is pretty terrifying he's a 10-year-old kid, so he'd be 18. Or he should have been 18 when he got dropped back into a new time.
But he wasn't. He was
the science doesn't work all that, but they tried. They really did, speed of light stuff.
They tried to explain...
and they didn't do a good job.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job. They were like, no, when you drop through the speed of light, it's time variant, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no.
There was some truth to it, but it did have it was a very elementary explanation. That being said, now watching it as the 43-year-old me, I'm like, oh, well, that was pretty bad, but it completely made sense for a 10-year-old me.
Yeah. It passes enough of the logic and the science to go, okay, that's believable.
Now let's discuss real quick the elephant in the room for the voice of the ship itself. Now, Max, we called him. Okay, now with this ship, it was really interesting because I remember when internet first showed up and I looked up who is the voice of the ship. And I was saying, oh no, that's PB Herman. That's because laugh through that the entire thing. I looked it up on the internet in those early days and it's Paul Mall. I'm like, who is Paul Mall? And it turns out that all these years later, I looked at IMDb again because I watched it with my wife, and she said, "No, that's PB Herman." I said, "No, it's not. It's Paul something or the other." It just sounds like PB Herman. Looked it up. Oh yeah, that was his pseudonym he was using because he was doing the dirty PB Herman show at the time.
But it makes so much sense. I was trying
It's his
for
voice.
so long to figure out who it was. And yeah, when you said that, I was like, the laugh. I should have gotten it at the laugh.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there for so long trying to figure it out.
He had the absolute best performance of the show.
He did.
Without
did.
a question.
Compliance.
He was good after he went into his brain.
Yes.
Because he was fun before that. The other one's a little silly.
A little bit, but
it's a kid's movie.
It's still funny. It works. It's a Disney film. It's not meant to be like serious or anything crazy. It's supposed to be fun. It's a great story, and that's what it is.
Oh, we also have the great puppeteering work. It looks like Henson.
It does.
I can't find it anywhere, but I'm pretty sure it's like whatever they pulled out of the Henson garbage can.
Like the one that ate his hat.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Like a Henson character. Like I'm like, are you sure that's not what this puppet?
It was, and the I forgot what the name of it is, but the little cute character. Oh. Now, what sucks is when we watch these.
I can't
something
remember.
Like that.
Something like that.
It starts with a P. Now, when I originally watched it, we watched it in VHS, the Buena Vista distribution, which is where all those old Disney movies came from.
Oh, yes.
And then they had.
I still have some.
You watch it in Disney Plus; it's all digital, and you can see the lines on the puppets. It makes me so sad. It's like, all the magic's gone now.
Because Disney Plus, it's so clear.
They could have digitally pulled that out, honestly.
Yeah, they could have. But when you take that VHS into this, it's just so old school, and you feel nostalgic just putting it in that way.
The smell of it.
Like hearing the thing wind up. I'm sorry. I'm aging myself now.
You're older. I thought I was the old one. I guess you're older than me. But fantastic movie. This is one of those that watch with your kids. It's you can watch it as an adult, but there's really no adult jokes. It's I would call it a great film. Watch it with your kids. Mm-hmm. Have fun. I'm going to give it with a nostalgia factor an A+. On reviewing, I'm going to give it a B+. What would you rate this one at?
Ooh, since it was my first time, I'm giving it a B.
A B?
B. But for the fact that everything was just so fun and crazy, and again, it felt like I was in Disneyland. I'm going to give it an A on this.
Nice. Yeah. That is outstanding.
I love Disney, and it reminded me of being in the park.
It felt that nothing could feel more Disney.
And the ship was something from one of the areas in Tomorrowland. So
it's the soda place.
Yeah. So you just feel like you're back in Disney, for me anyway.
Yeah. It's a fantastic little adventure. Take some time. Everyone's got Disney Plus. Disney owns your soul. Watch it. It's totally worth it. Check out the website, www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the com. We paid extra for it. On the YouTube, which you're probably watching this on, subscribe. That button, I think there or somewhere. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. I don't know. I don't edit these things. Yeah. Check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook. Talk to us. We do talk back. Send up smoke signals, and, well, somebody will get that for you.
Somebody.
So until next time, I'm Dub.
And I'm Pixie.
Keep on geeking on.
You've been listening to iHeartGeek. Our Twitter account is @iHeartGeekShow. Hope you enjoyed the show.